Hello children, today we are going to see the 13th chapter of our class 8 science textbook, that is sound. This is the first part or first video of the chapter sound. So let's start. First of all, let's see what is sound. Sound is a form of energy that enables us to hear. Every object has its special sound. You see children, daily we can hear different types of sounds around us. So what is sound? Sound is actually a form of energy. And every object will have its special sound. Like each of us have our own kind of sound, our own voice. Like that, sound can be produced in different types by different objects. Sound plays an important role in our lives. It helps us to communicate with one another. Can you imagine, without the ability to speak, how difficult it will be for us to communicate properly? Sound help us to communicate with each other. We hear a variety of sounds in our surroundings, such as honking of vehicles, chirping of birds, people talking, barking of dogs, buzzing of bears, typing on the laptop, talking on mobile phone, playing games, music. So these are various type of sounds which are present around us. Now let's see how sound is produced. Vibration. When a particle or a body moves to and fro about its mean position, it is said to vibrate. This to and fro motion is called a vibration. It is also referred to as oscillation. So here, what we understand by to and fro motion? To and fro motion means going left, then right, like this, moving periodically. To and fro motion. Then you see, what is mean position? Mean position means at rest, it was in which position? If it was here at rest, this will be the mean position. It will go here, again come back to its mean position, again go there, then coming back to its mean position. It is called vibration. With the help of this video, let me explain it. This is a simple pendulum. So how this simple pendulum moves? First it goes to the left side, then to the right. So it is moving to and fro. Periodically it is moving to and fro. So this is called oscillatory motion, or we can also say a vibration. Here you see, it will go left, then it will again go right. This is one oscillation. Again left, right. So from the midpoint, if it goes to A, then again come back and goes to B, then again come back, this is one oscillation. From the mean position in the middle, left, right, then again coming back to its mean position in the middle is called an oscillation or one vibration. Sound is produced because of vibration of an object. In other words, a vibrating object produces sound. So without the vibration of an object, sound cannot be produced. When you were very little, did you play it by making these string telephones? If you will pay attention, if one of you speaks here, this string will vibrate, and this vibration of the string will carry the sound or whatever this boy is talking or saying in the form of wave to the ears of this girl. So this is how production of sound take place. Sound can be produced by following methods. By vibrating membranes, as in the example of tabla or drum. By vibrating air columns, as in the case of flute, harmonica or harmonium. By vibrating strings, as in the case of guitar, sitar, veena, violin, iktara, etc. Or by vibrating plates, as in the example of cymbals, electric bell or cycle bell, etc. Now let's see the propagation of sound. Propagation of sound means how sound travels from one place to another. If two children are standing far away from each other and they are talking to each other, they can hear each other also. So how sound travels from one person to another? The traveling of sound is called propagation of sound. The matter or substance through which sound is transmitted is called a medium. That means if the sound is traveling through a solid, let's say in the earlier case the string will be the medium. Okay? Sound is propagated by the to and fro motion of particles of the medium. The medium can be solid, liquid or gas. Sound cannot travel in vacuum. Vacuum means there is nothing, not even air. I have told you that sound needs something to move, to vibrate, so that sound can travel from one point to another. But if there is nothing, what will vibrate? That is why sound cannot travel in vacuum. But sound can travel through solid, liquid, and as well as gas. Now here you see this picture. Can you see this is called a tongue? If we vibrate this tongue, this vibration of tongue will move and vibrate the particles, air particles present around it, and these air particles will again move forward like that. First you remember here it is very dense, more lines are there, that means more particles. If particles are compact and very close to each other, it is called compression. If the particles are far away from each other, it is called rarefaction. And through this compression and rarefaction, sound reaches our ear. Now let me explain it to you with the help of this video. Here you see this is an object which is vibrating, and these green dots are air particles. Now this vibrating sound produced by this object pushes the particles adjacent and displaces it from their mean position. Now these particles go and collide with the nearby particles and again come back, and in response the nearby particle will again push the other particles. Like that they will, you see, can you see to and fro movement? They are going back and forth, and like this compression and rarefaction are being produced. So here the particles itself are not traveling, they are just vibrating in their place. The disturbance is traveling in the medium. That means the disturbance produced by this vibration moves along, and this is called as sound wave. Another example, this is a tongue and here the medium is air. When the tongue is not moving, the air particles are staying in their place, they are not forming any wave. But when we will hit the tongue on something, it starts to vibrate, and this vibration of the tongues will bring disturbance in the air particles around it. Here you see, when it vibrates, it pushes the air particles which become dense. If we push it, many of the particles come very close to each other, and this close or tightly packed particles is called compression, where the particles are in high density. That means they are in close contact, and after striking the nearby particles, previous particles are coming back and later particles are again getting collected. The previous particles now again are dispersed. This is called rarefaction, and this rarefaction is caused by the low density of the vibrating object. Can you see, low density and the high density is now pushed ahead. So the vibrating objects are not, the particles are not moving, they are just transferring the disturbance from one place to another. Now let's see sound produced by humans. In humans, sound is produced because of vibration of his vocal box or larynx. You see, children, in our throat we have a box called voice box, or also known as larynx, through which we can produce our sound. It is situated at the upper end of the windpipe. There are two stretched membranes called vocal cords attached in larynx and a narrow slit between them for the passage of air. You see, this is our trachea or the windpipe. At the top or upper part of the trachea, we have this larynx. This part is larynx, and can you see these two yellow lines, structures? These are vocal cords, and a black line between them is the slit. That means it is an opening. And when we say something or when we want to make some sound, these vocal cords vibrate, and vibration of these vocal cords by the pushing out of air. You try to notice that when we say something, the air is pushed out of our mouth. So from the lungs, when we try to say something, the air coming out or being pushed out of our mouth, the air vibrates this vocal cord, and through the vibration of the vocal cord, we can say or make sounds. When the lungs forces air through the slit, the vocal cords vibrate, producing sound. Now here, let's see this video. Here, first one is the closed vocal cords and second one is the open vocal cord. So this is the normal vocal cord, and when we say something, these vocal cords close and open. Can you see it is moving? It is vibrating, we can say. This is closing and opening. This is what produces the sound in our case. Now, the males have slightly longer vocal cord than the female, and the small children have even shorter vocal cords. And due to this variation in length of the vocal cords, the sound are different for the males, females, and small child. So for today, we will end here. I hope you have understood the topics. For better understanding, you should go through your book, your chapter, and in the next video, we will cover the further topics. For now, thank you.